Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Wounded to Wonderful podcast on YouTube. And we just wanted to welcome you. And this is a place for real life people doing real life things, solving real life issues so that we can have those real life conversations to help you have your best life. I'm your
Mhm.
host, Eddie White. And today's episode, we're going to talk about financial goals and gaining followers to sustain over 100K in revenue per year with our guest, Kendria Johnson, who is a transformational coach and teacher out of Dubai. Welcome, Kendria, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Miss Edna. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity and a platform to speak. Like she said, my name is Kendria Johnson. I am a transformational coach. That's my side hustle. But yes, my day job is teaching. My day job is teaching. So I'm a teacher by day, which is my superpower, and then I exercise my other superpower at night, which is coaching, because I have a real passion for other teachers and helping them. So.
Wonderful. Yes. So how do you show up as a transformational coach and teacher? Because I heard you say, if this is your side hustle, but we want that to become your only hustle. So how do we?
I agree with you.
How do you show up in the world doing this? Tell us a little bit more about, where you started in this mission, and just tell us about it so we can know some things about you.
Okay.
And I will say before you start talking, I'm very jealous here in Dubai, but that's a side note.
You wouldn't be that jealous if you knew how hot it was here. It is hot, okay? Hot. You think it's hot there, but it's hot here, okay? So this is why But yeah, so let's see. My journey started with coaching probably about 13 years ago. Okay. I was in the public school system back home, and I was always that teacher that, they knock on your door and say, Miss Johnson, I need to talk to you, or Miss Kendra, I need to talk to you. And then I would just lay on, and I'd always be that ear, or they needed to borrow something. I was that teacher in the hall, they need to come down and get something. So I found myself always being a mentor or a coach anyway, as like something that I was just good at. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a few seminars, those seminars, those hoorah, rah, rah seminars, Les Brown's and Tony Robbins. And I went to one of those seminars, and they were like, turn your passion into profit. And so about 3 years ago, I was like, I think I can do this. If everybody else can do it, I can do it too. I'm already doing it. I'm just not getting paid for it, right? I want my name on this because I'm trying to build a legacy for my family. So that's when those financial goals started to creep in, because I'm like, listen, teaching ain't gonna make you money. You're not gonna be rich teaching. I already knew that. You know that. Anybody who's not in teaching knows that. People in teaching know that. So what can I do that really is going to bring some kind of financial stability to my life? And I started to do this. When I realized that people will pay you for what you know,
right,
it changed it. That changed the game for me. So when you say show up, when people will pay you like for anything that you know, all your knowledge and wisdom, and it's like, well, okay, let me give you my account number real quick. In there. So that's how it started, and now it's evolving to the point where it's like I'm gonna have to hire some more coaches. I can't. Everybody wants me to coach them, and it's like it's just only one me. So I'm having to come up with I've come up with a program now that I sell to them, because I can't be everywhere all the time. So my business is just having to evolve in order to accommodate the need and the demand for my services. So if I was to give advice, if someone is listening to this, I would say there's always a niche for something that you do. People are sitting on all this gold mine up here, and you thinking you can't make money off of what you know. I promise you, there is someone out there that wants what you know. So where I am now, I'm on my second book. So my book is coming out August 15th. That book just basically chronicles everything I'm about to, try to cram into, this interview, which is I was teaching in the public school system for 15 years. In year 13, 14, and 15, I hit a wall. I hit a burnout wall. Like, I didn't know if I could make it another year. Wow. Because the kid was always giving and giving and giving, and then I didn't have anything for me. So I'd go home tired and listless, and my poor man didn't get none of my time because I was tired all the time. I didn't see none of my friends. I barely saw the sun, Miss Edna. Seriously, because I would come to work during the dusk, and then I would leave after nightfall. So I barely even saw the sun. I had to make a point to go outside just to see the sun. Seriously, I was overworking myself.
Yeah.
And I hit that wall. I started to get sick in my body, and my body started to manifest all these illnesses. And I was like, oh no. I had to do an overhaul. I had to do an overhaul on me. I had to do inventory on me. And I had to go in and check in on me and figure out what is it? Why am I in this thing, first off? How did I get here? How do I get out? And then, of course, I made the choice to move overseas, but I don't advise that to my clients because I said it doesn't take that. You really don't. It's about taking care of you, making you a priority, putting you on your own calendar. So I did all of those steps myself, went through it, wrote it down, turned it into a business, then wrote it down again and turned it into a book. So that's a little snippet of my story. If you want to know more, of course, you can, Ms. Edna's going to give you my information, but if you are going through something, and I think it's Oprah that said this, turn your wounds into wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that was an awesome, rhema that made me show up and say, I have to take care of Kendra because Ms. Edna, I can get another job. Mm-hmm. As a teacher, I'm highly sought after. I can get another job, but I can't get another me.
Never.
I lost me. I had forgot about me. I wasn't taking care of me. And no one else is going to do that. And some ladies, we are the main culprits. We don't take care of ourselves right. We take care of everybody else first. Then, maybe we'll get some sleep or maybe we'll get something to eat. We can't do that to ourselves. So with this program, I specifically teach teachers, male and female, but mostly females, how to take care of themselves in this space. Because what you do is important. And of course, everybody, every job that we have and every career we have is important. But what you do is important because you're giving to other people. You're standing in front of children. You got to be on your best. You have to bring that energy. You got to bring yourself. You got to bring your most authentic self. And I wasn't doing that. I was pretending to be someone else so I could make it through the day. Now, you get what you get. You get all of it. I come in full effect, in full color, in living color. This is what you get, right?
Yeah.
So it's work on me, though. I had to put in the work for me to do that. I couldn't stand here and tell people what to do if I hadn't done it first. That's not fair. And that would make me, unauthentic, and people would see through that. But I have done the work on me and continue to have to do the work on me to be able to stand in front of people and say, all right, all right, get off that phone, get off that computer at 10 o'clock at night. Put that up, put that work up. In order for me to be the authority in someone else's life. And they appreciate it. And they pay me. Oh, they pay me for this. So I'm like, you're not paying me to tell you what you want to hear. You're paying me to tell you how to do it better and to get better results out of what you're doing in your life. And, because believe it or not, it started out as career counseling. It's career counseling, relationship counseling, health counseling, spiritual counseling, emotional counseling, mental health counseling. It's a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of everything, and I can help them on every single level. But that's how I show up now. Now I can't wait to get back to school. I remember those days when I hated going back. I can't wait to get back. At first, I got a book to sell. Second, I got clients I have to go check in on. I'm excited. I got my passion back because I had lost. I had lost it there. You're 13, 14. I was like everybody else. I'm tired. I don't know if I can do this another year. I'm exhausted. And I'm on year 22. But I wouldn't have got there if I hadn't done the work.
Right. And ran up against that wall really and been aware that this is not normal. What's the name of the book? What's the name of your book?
The name of the book is called Teacher of the Year. It's a play on words because a lot of teachers are trying to be perfect. Mm-hmm. We all want to be, teacher of the year. I want to do all this myself, do all the lesson plans myself, all this myself, and I want to show up and I want to do all these committees myself, and I want to be there for my kids, and I want to do all this, and if I don't do it, it won't get done kind of mentality, and how we catch ourselves we overwork ourselves doing that. We contribute to our own career fatigue doing that, and it's not just teachers that do it, but that's who I know, that's who I am. But that syndrome of I got to do it all myself and I got to be a superhero. But if you think about it, Superman had two personalities. He had an alter ego. Sure. So did Wonder Woman. So did, Batman. All of them had alter egos, people. And they had other things. They had another identity that they lived under in order to be able. They weren't always superheroes all the time. They had a regular life. You should adapt that philosophy. I do. I do. What you're seeing now is Kendra. You're seeing, I'm on my vacation and I'm cool. When I go to work, I'm a different person.
Right.
Everybody sit down. All right, have a seat. Right. We're gonna listen to me now. Everybody's gonna be settled, and then I put on my teacher hat. When I'm with my boyfriend, then I'm somebody different.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You are. You're exactly right. The strong woman syndrome has done two things to us: stopped us from being able to ask for help, and crippled us to the point that we are burned out in every role that we're in. Every role. Making bad decisions on boyfriend. If we're going from one relation to the other, we're making bad choices. Making bad choices with work. I can't tell you, and I know you know, how many clients that we have literally say, I hate my job, right? They hate it, but they gotta stay there. You don't gotta stay in nothing. And so I tell them, I said, oh, so you're abused? She goes, no, not abused. Oh, sure you are. You're abusing yourself because you're choosing to stay in the position. So you're abusing yourself. Never looked at it like that, So many of things with women, that what you said is that's really important to know and to share with the audience. I know a lot of teachers are going to get a lot out of this because there's teachers that are burned completely, just burned, and don't know at the end, okay, now I'm leaving. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
How do you take them from being all that and now doing something that they know they can do well, like you transition that? How do you take them through the process? Give us a couple of steps.
Sure. Okay. So my program is called Teach for Life, TEACH. Each one of those is a module. I covered over 3 days. 3 days is the smallest amount of time I can do it. When I do my retreats, I can do all 5 days. Right. But we go step by step by step. The T stands for theory and philosophy. So I teach the teachers. The first thing I do is have them write down, how did you get here? Where'd you start? Because I tell my story first. When I stand up in front of my crowd of people, I tell my story first of how I got here and how I got to that brick wall and then what I did to get around it. Then I make them write it down. I want you to write down what gives your life meaning. Number 2, what is your gifts? What are your gifts and talents? And are you using them in your everyday life? And if you're not, you need to be tapping into those because that'll give you some release of some of that stress that you feel at work. And number 3 is, what do you want? What is your purpose for teaching? What is I'm a teacher because my mom was a teacher. That's not a purpose. That's not it. You need to figure out why you are doing it. Oh, I do it because we get summers off. That's not a good enough purpose. Why are you doing it? What gives your life meaning? What gifts and talents are you bringing to the table? And what is your purpose being in this job? I would say a good 90% of my clients can't tell me that. They can't tell me, or they have some kind of well, my mom and dad were teachers. Okay, but why are you doing it? Wow. You've been doing it 16 years. Why are you doing it? Well, no wonder. And then I take them to what I call the MAP, M-A-P, make a plan and meaningful applied principle. You have to apply that principle. When we figure out what you're doing and why you're doing it and why you're here, then we need to figure out where you want to go. They don't think about that either. In 5 years, I can tell you right now, I'm going to be running a charity for young girls, for social education. I'm going to be doing this full time. I'm going to be making 6 figures a year. I'm going to be, best-selling, New York selling published author. I already have it planned out for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not going to wait till I'm 65 to retire. Okay. I'm going to see 35 more countries. I've already seen 35. I'm going to see 35 more. So I've already had them planned out. What about you? They don't even think about it. And so I said, when you think about something and you plan out, you have a map for it, it makes the journey better. I can't wait to go to I'm planning my trip now, my next trip. All I think about when I wake up in the morning is I can't wait to get to this trip. I can't wait till I get to the hotel. This is what I'm gonna do when I get there. Blah, blah, blah. So why don't you do that for your life? And something you do every day from 8 to 3, you should be planning that out. Just like you do a lesson plan, teachers, just like you do a lesson plan out your life, not just your day and your week, your life. Once we get the plan, Ms. Edna, once we get the plan, then we move to the next step. I make them do the E stands for evolve. The A stands for adapt and survive. The C stands for commitment. You need to commit to yourself and the goals that you put down. And then H stands for happy. how to be happy. So you're asking, you're saying if I'm going to teach them how to be happy, I will. I do. I have a certificate in happiness from the Happiness Institute. I can show it to you now. I have taken the 6-week course on how to be happy, so I can teach other people how to be happy. Now I already knew it, but I got a nice little formula I can show them on how to be happy and how to maintain that happiness.
Yeah.
So all of those things we get into, I do one little exercise. I do many exercises, but I do one exercise where I make them write down. So I make them write a letter to the person that most influences them. And I make them write, I wrote it down. I had to do this, write it down. This person influenced me to do what? And I said, that is the person you need to think about every single day when you're overworking yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't do it for you, if you don't put that computer down and put that stuff away for you, think about that person that you admire the most, dead or alive. Think about them and what would they say? Yeah. If something happened to you, what would happen to you? That person would be devastated if something happened to you.
Sure. Well,
sure. So think about that person. If you don't want to do it for you, Absolutely. Do it for that person. And I think about that because I think about my grandmother. My grandmother used to be a cleaner for the school district. She used to clean the schools that I work in. She used to clean those schools. And I think about her when I wanted to give up.
Right.
Like, you went to school, baby. You went to school for all that. You better go on and keep that job. That's her head. That's her voice in my head.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint her. So I got to take care of gotta take care of myself and keep that good job. Don't you throw away that good job, baby. Now,
absolutely. Don't you throw away. You can, but you better have another plan. That's what you better have.
You better have something in the bank, boo. Yeah, you better have something in the bank. So yeah, my goal is to make sure she's happy with me. We got the same earrings on, Ms. Edna.
I was going to tell you, I just noticed it. I said, oh my goodness, Lord, we are, oh my goodness. This is what happens when you fanatical with people. This is what happens. This is what happens. I'm looking, I'm going, I want to say it so bad, but she's on the roll. She's on the roll. We got the same. Same color. It's same color.
Queens and queens. That's why queens think of alike.
There you go. I really like what you're saying, and I like the direction that you're going. And this will help a lot of teachers. And you're showing up in the world like this can help you financially. And we often talk about ministry, and us coming from the Black community, we always, this is what we're taught: ministry, church or religion. And when you were talking, I really felt like that was your mission, your ministry. It was like, wow, that's her ministry. She knew this years ago. And now you're talking about your grandmother. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You just see how like good patterns, good generational patterns come out of what you do. And when you're so aware, when you become aware of it. Let's talk about finances now. Financial goals. And you talked about them. You said you want to be 6 figures. And I'm not sure if you meant 5 years from last year or the year before, but let's talk about the financial goals that you have in mind for yourself and how even your clients can start to get that way, to start to move towards that.
Absolutely. Believe it or not, when they make this list of things that their grievances about what they're doing, they're like, well, I don't get paid enough. Well, you know that. So what do you do on the side? Right. I encourage a side hustle. You have to have something. If it's nothing but a hobby, you say you like to cook, teach people to cook. Yeah. Get online and cook. Make people pay for a cooking class for you. I give them those ideas because I said have some money stashed,
right,
for yourself. For number one, I know emergency funds is a buzzword.
It's a big deal.
Think about the your wealth gap. I've taken my fair share of wealth courses, and one of the things that I remember him saying to me was, wealth starts with the number of months you can survive without your paycheck. Yeah, wow, that means I'm poor, right? At the time, I was thinking, I need to get on that because I ain't gonna be able to survive very much because I'm paying all student foolishness. So now, also he said, use other people's money to make money. I absolutely do that. So I have, of course, I have my 401k at home. That's still sitting there. I contribute to that every year. But I also got into cryptocurrency. Now if you know me, if anybody knows me in my background, I don't, if it's new, I'm just like my grandmother tell me. Now, I don't know about this crypto stuff. Now, what is this crypto stuff?
Sound like me. What is this crypto stuff?
I don't know what this this, and it's all, and everybody was teaching on it was always white Caucasian males. So, you know, I'm like, that's another way for them to get our money. I didn't know. I was ignorant, especially with the Bitcoin thing. I didn't know. Now, when I got educated, again, I had to open my mind and get over myself and my own, get out of my own way. I was like, okay, well, let me give you some of that. I also own gold, which is very important. I also own bars of gold, grams of gold. Is if you can, I tell my clients, go and find some gold, 14 karat, 18 karat gold, put it somewhere. Hide it somewhere, put it somewhere and let it sit, because gold appreciates. That's that one commodity. One of very, very few commodities appreciate over time. Gold is one of them. Now, cryptocurrency is going to do that. Stocks and bonds is going to do that, but gold is going to do that. And then sometimes it'll do that, but it's going to always do that. It's going to never go down. Every once in a while, it'll go down, it'll dip. But for the most part, gold is always appreciated. And our parents kind of do that, but they didn't buy it like they should have. We should have been buying bars of gold 40 years ago. So I call it now my diversified portfolio. I've always wanted to have one. Now I actually do have it. But for my clients, I insist that they find something outside of work that they enjoy and see if they can make money at it. They don't like to do that. Some of them are quite shy, not like me, but they're like very shy. And I'm like, no, I think you should turn it into some money. I think you should turn it into some money. Now, they don't see the value in what I'm saying yet, but they will, because this world is about to hit a recession. Pay attention. Look at the news. It's about to hit. You need a business inside that is recession proof so that people will come to you. You can't make money the traditional way. You have to have that in place. So I can see the signs, but I teach people to at least have enough money in your account somewhere, liquid, to where if that job lets you off, you'll be fine. The biggest teacher of that was that pandemic. But if that wasn't no teacher, I don't know what was. That pandemic had people like in those soup lines and those kitchens. They thought they were living high off the hog, but they were in debt. They were living on credit. They didn't realize that they didn't really have any money. They realized.
They realized it. They realized it. I mean, they knew it, but they preferred not to. Again, that comes from the superhero. Oh yeah, I can surmount over that, and then not preparing financially, like you said, financially for any downfall. If tomorrow,
be ready.
Like I do speak to a lot of my clients that saying, if tomorrow you were hurt, you broke your ankle, what do you have that can pay you or take care of your bills long term? And usually they say, I live paycheck to paycheck. They usually say that, and which is not a good thing. And
why do you have to wait for something bad to happen to prove that that's right?
Exactly. It's the wrong thing to do. And getting your financial, I did a workshop, which is one of my favorite workshops, the 5 pillars of as you said, happy life. Happy life, which have to do with finances. Would have to do with spiritual and emotional and mental health, which has to do with, every component that you just talked about is really important. We worry about the spiritual part, and we kind of lean towards that a little bit more to kind of get rid of what we've done.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Take this. Okay, I need to get rid of this. I need to get some kind of recompense. Like that's the dumping ground for the things that you have to get. You have to take control over and take care of. And that's what transformational coaching is all about. No, take that back. Take the responsibility. Yeah, I lived on my credit card when I shouldn't have been, buying a banana on credit, when I should have waited till I get 59 cents and eat one banana instead of getting a bunch of bananas that I've already voided out of my body and I'm paying interest on. Financially, those things. Now, obtaining investors, gaining investors, how do you see that playing into your financial goals?
Me acquiring investors?
Yeah.
Well, my clients are my investors now, but when this program really takes off,
yes,
I expect and anticipate some corporate people will be approaching me, because it's a very soft subject, but it's needed. I call it education, but it's really needed. Somebody needs to be helping them on the helping these teachers after work, because they don't want to, that they don't want to do that. That's not their job. They don't care about that. They don't care about your emotional health.
Oh no. No, they don't.
They don't care about that. But I will listen because I'm going to help you get some solution. Right. They're not going to do that. I just had a client yesterday, 2 days ago. Then I'm gonna answer your question about financial investments.
Right.
It kind of ties into it, but he asked me. He kept talking about his problem. He didn't have any confidence. And I said, he didn't have a job. And I said, are you going to the interviews talking about this? He was like, yeah. I said, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Don't do that no more. I said, you better talk about your skill set, what you got, your background and your education. Stop. Do not go in that interview talking to those people about your problems. They don't care. They want to know if you're going to show up and teach these kids physics. That's all they want to know. Right. Have a seat. And he said, and he sent me a email saying he's going to pay me 20% of his salary for the next year because he got a job, because he did what I told him to do. And I was like, great. That's great. But why do I have to tell you that? But I guess people just don't know. No, don't go in there talking about your personal life. They don't care about that. That's the interview. That's not doing that. Yeah. But he's like, I'm going to give you 20% of my income. I said, okay. I'm not going to say no, but okay. Right, exactly. That's my fee, but okay. That's all right. You want to do that? You go right on ahead. Yep. But looking for investors to come when they see this product blow up. But I'm just going to keep doing the work and let my customers invest in me. Self-investment is the best investment ever. I don't put dollar amounts on those things. Right. But I do put a dollar amount on my time. But my self-investment, I'm not telling them, my people, to do anything that I have not done. I invest in myself all the time. I put money aside for my paychecks. I, have money for my mani and petties. I don't give money away. I either barter with it or you have to pay it back with interest. I run my life like a business now, but as far as my corporate investments, I can't wait. But right now it's just me and my clients, and they see value in what I do. This man want to give me 20% of his income. Right.
So would your corporate investors be school districts?
School districts.
It would be school districts, right?
Or corporations who saw a value in it. If they wanted their teachers to, let's say, go through a program, they have a teacher. They have these kind of teacher recruitment companies and firms here. So if they want to invest in what I do as a side, they sure can pay me, and I will happily train their teachers. If I have a school district that wants to come and get my product, I already have something written up for them. They have to buy a license from me to share my information, and I will happily give them coaches, but I probably won't show up, because if I show up, it's going to be double the price if I show up. Gotcha. So if I show up, it's double the price, but I will happily serve them with some coaches, because I have lots of friends. I got to hire like 4 more teachers, 4 more coaches to get all these people I got coming my way.
And if I were a corporate organization, I would know that you have a proposal of some sort available to me. Okay.
Yes, I can share that. Yeah, that's already ready to share. You can always have I have a webinar. Okay. I have taped lessons about what I do. Right. I don't give you everything because you got to pay to be in there, but I will give you a taped lesson of what I do and the value of it, of what I do. Because you can't, it's hard for a corporation, they have to see it. That's why I say I have to keep doing the work, because they really got to see the benefits of what I do. Right. Your turnover rates are going to be lower. Your morale is going to go up in your school if you hire me to teach your teachers this, to teach them how to govern themselves and self-assess and take care of themselves and adapt to survive, all that. Your morale will go up, that maybe you won't be working, your teachers won't be, wearing a hole in the floor, coming in and out of there complaining all day long, because they can figure out ways to deal with it themselves, or call me after school so they don't have to burden their parents to go, I don't have enough paper. They don't want to hear that. Figure it out. When you go to your principal, have a solution for your problem. Otherwise, they don't want to hear from you. It's going in this air and down on the floor. They're not listening.
And how can you gain more followers through what you just said? How can you gain more followers? What is the strategic plan to obtain that?
Right now, because of the book, I'm hoping that I can drum up some more customers with the book. So right now I'm just a local celebrity. Everybody knows me on Facebook and Instagram and the talks that I do around here. But in order for me to take this thing back to America and all the way around the world, I have to be exposed. My mentor says it all the time. They say, you have a great product, you have a lot of energy, and we like your passion, but no one knows me. No one knows who I am. I'm not known for what I know now. So I just have to keep doing that work, keep doing what we're doing now, collaborating with people like yourself, and getting the word out there, getting my face out there, getting my name and my product out there so people can know that I'm serious. Because even on my Instagram page, I think I got like 13 followers. That's because I don't use it. I don't use Instagram. I use word of mouth. People just know, oh, I got a friend that can help you. I got a Facebook message a minute ago from somebody who just, my friend said, you know how to get around town. Can you help me? That kind of thing. But I need my face to be synonymous with what I do.
Right.
So be a trusted member of society. That way, when I can take it over there, my reputation is already preceding me. Right. When I take it back home,
okay,
I already got my reputation in check.
Yes. So I believe a lot of times, and I do a lot of small business, small business coaching, because that's one of my hearts is. I became a entrepreneur in my early 30s, and I love it. I just completely love it. And as I got older, I was like, I wanted to kind of like lay low. But I know that working for someone is not the way to go, because they're not running they're not running business properly. You can see the problem when you've run your business for like 20 years. You don't even have to say a word. The problem just, oh yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying about all of that. What I started to do for my own business when I came out of working, I worked for someone for 4 years. When I came out of working in that area, I made up a strategy plan, and it was for social media. So I came up with a consistent everyday plan, because I didn't like the fact I had to buy leads. I didn't like that. I thought it was useless, waste of time, pitching, and you might not get anybody. I thought it was it was terrible,
Yeah, I agree.
Consistently, I was, okay, what is my best platform? I'm great on Facebook, Instagram, you're more picture based, but I don't get a lot of my clients are not attracted that way for me, and I think, as a life coach, it is word of mouth, it is trust. But when I when I created that plan for, strategic plan for social media, and I did it on a consistent basis and trial and error, what I could post and what I couldn't post, what got attention, what engaged, what didn't engage. I started attracting the right client that, without, I'll say, well, this is my fee, no budge whatsoever. And no budge, just, okay, no problem. Or they came to me and I didn't get a no show. I always,
you attracted the right customer.
I attracted the right one. And I believe that consistency is really the catalyst to new clientele. Yes, you're going to have those ambassadors that's going to tell everybody about you. Trust me. And especially when you're doing it from the heart, and like you said, authentic, because we are authentic. I could tell from just talking to you and earrings, but especially when you're coming from there, people will sing praises. But when we're talking about transitioning and really getting global, consistency for social media is the key. Trial and error, what your platforms, which work and which don't, and just working it consistently on, because when I go on LinkedIn and I forget to do something, somebody inbox me, are you doing anything this week?
Because you do it so often. Yeah,
I do it so often. Like, I'm waiting for the newsletter. I mean, I'm like, I didn't know you were paying attention like that.
Right.
But it's to be very consistent, because that's how you get the eyes of the businesses. So I received 2 business accounts to work as a life purpose coach for their employees, to motivate them and keep them focused on their job and create leadership within that.
Yes,
that's powerful in itself. Yes, keep your ambassadors happy. Give them free dibs on your manuscript or whatever you got to, your free books or whatever, and let them keep telling folks about you. But the consistency in the social media arena is key. Is that stepping stone to get the clients you want. I will say, let me the clients you want. That's
I'm
going
with you.
you know, really going to get you over to that $100,000 revenue for just you, and the business pays itself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Did you like market to those businesses, or they just saw what you were doing and this like, I want you?
I marketed directly, and this is I market directly to women of color. Okay. And I marketed directly to them, that I help them, you know, because they're in the health. I come out of the health field and the real estate field. So I come out of those fields. So I marketed to real estate, you know, professionals who are feeling stuck and don't know how to transition their real estate career to, you know, something they want to do. I market to the health field when you're feeling stuck, kind of, you know, and the health field is really difficult, you know, home health aides, you know, that are really stuck and don't know what to do, or directors of healthcare organizations that are just stuck there, and they're not in a leadership role, but they're given the leadership title and not being a leader. So I market directly to them, and that's who you know, a lot of people that contact me and say, you know, I'm overworked, underpaid, and I know that I can do this for myself. How do I transition into what I do? So that's who I work with. And then the employee side is those people that have created those businesses and cannot keep employees. Retention is terrible. You know, and how to make them happy. And the key component is be concerned about your employees, how their mental health is, how their financial health is. Be concerned about them, but they can't. They're missing that piece. You know, they're missing me. You know, so
into a system. They forget the human eyes. They forget. They're just plugged in, and everybody thinks teachers are different. No, in education, it's still a system. It's like corporate. It's a system. And the higher up, the less they care about you. You're just a number.
Exactly.
And so you have to care about you. You have to care about you.
Most people are working in their business and not on their business.
Yeah.
Corporate is the same way. They're working making sure this works, and never realizing, well, it takes human beings to make it all work.
Yes.
They don't think like that. They're always in the business and not on top looking now what is happening or what do I need to do. And I thought that, you know, remember that boss show? There was a reality show where and the boss would go in and find out what the problems were in their businesses.
Undercover Boss. Was that
Undercover Boss, right? I thought that was ideal. Like, yes, we need to do that because we don't know what's going on. And we're so busy in the business that we're not on the business. Like they did things that they never done, you know, like they're hiring other people to do at less money and not realizing, wow, I'm killing people, you know? You know, but I like what you're saying. And I see your goals that you have, you're on target. You're really on target. And when you're caring about yourself, like you said, let me just tell you, that is like top of the line. So
if you don't see the value in you, then they won't see the value in you. If you don't value you, look how pretty we are. If I go out, I show up and how cute I am. Look how cute you are. Look how cute I am.
Exactly.
So if I think I'm cute, and I do, then someone else is going to come along and think I'm cute and I'm valuable as well. But if you're not going to, so my clients have issues with self-esteem,
right?
Self-worth. They really, truly do, and that's the reason why they're trying to prove something to these people. The system. I'm like, you prove something to your husband and your kids at home. Those are people that matter. You go to work and do it. So home, work, then go home with your family at home. That's what's important. That's really what's important. That balance you have that's out of balance like that, whatever happens to you at work, they don't care about what happens to you at home. But at home, they care about all of you. All of you. Those people, your friends, they care about all of you. So, I hear you. And I can't wait for us to collaborate on LinkedIn because I'm not a LinkedIn person.
Okay.
I barely got this.
That would be your next, your really big next step. Someone said to me, there are 33 ways to have a stream of income into your business. How many are you doing? And I'm like, ooh.
Well, I'm behind. Let me hurry up.
I was like, oh, that made me scared. So I was like, I think I'm doing maybe 3 out of the 33. So
I have the book, I got the program, I got the webinars and the seminars, and I got the coaches. So there's 5. Yeah.
Okay. So I got the 5. I got 5. And then I added another component just recently, which was never thought about adding grants to the things I do, funding my business. Never thought about it. Never thought about, I'm kind of working with Lehman Marcus, if they're even around. I'm just using an example to fund one of my events. Never thought about that. I'm doing we're always thinking for ourselves, let's do lower level, local, but what's wrong with reaching high if that's where you want to be? Like, different larger organizations, what's the worst they can say is probably no, and then try back next year, what you're going to do. So I've added to my streams of income one more piece, which is grants, writing for grants and contracts with New York State or where you are. So I added that piece, or the 2 pieces to that, and I'm having great success, and it makes my work that I do, the 10% in kind, worthwhile, worth a lot more. Do you know what I'm saying? It makes it okay, I can do this and not losing.
Game, recognize game. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Hustle, recognize hustle. I recognize hustle. Yes. I absolutely do.
So important to do. Yeah. I really thank you for sharing your business, and I know that it's getting close for us to be. This is the end of the show. Can you share some, final thoughts on anyone that's ready or wanting to be a coach or even a teacher, anything that you can give around what you do to the audience right now?
All right. So I usually close my workshops with a story. How many minutes do I have, Ms. Ed?
You have, I'll give you 7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right. So this is a teacher of the year story. Okay. This is a teacher of the year my first year of teaching. So you're talking 20 some odd years ago. And I remember this story because she got up on the stage and she had cerebral palsy. She was teacher of the year for the whole entire district. And so she walked with crutches. And she was a kindergarten teacher. She's a very sweet lady. I don't remember her name, but I do remember this story. So she gets up and she tells the story about how she worked in a very low income district. There was a Title I school, so all the kids were on free lunch, and it was Christmas time. And the kids wanted to get gifts for each other. They wanted to exchange gifts. So she was like, I know they don't have a lot of money. So let's just she was telling the kids, all right, let's put the cap on it. Let's not spend a lot of money. And they were like, well, what do you want, miss, for Christmas? She was like, oh, you don't have to give me anything. I'm good. Just take care of each other. But they didn't listen, kids. So all that Friday, they came and they brought her right at the Christmas party. You have a little Christmas party at the They all bring her a gift. This one little boy, she knew his family history. So she knew he didn't have a lot of money. So he brings her this jar with leaves and twigs in it. And she does that thing that teachers do. She's like, oh, look at that. Oh, thank you, baby. That's so sweet. But she was thinking like whatever was in here is probably dead. And it was a mason and holes in it, But the baby, she did that thing. Thank you, so sweet. So you're so sweet, baby. She put it on her desk and leaves it there for the break. She comes back from the break and she was like, oh, after 2 weeks, she's like, whatever was in there, if it wasn't dead before, it's probably dead now. So she opened up the jar and 3 butterflies flew.
Wow.
And the baby comes back to school and he says, hi, miss, did you see what I got you? Did you see what I got you? And she says, yes, baby, thank you so much. That was so sweet. And he said, it's because your legs don't work. So I got you some wings.
Wow.
And that is the reason why we do what we do. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough it is, no matter how much we don't get paid and how much we don't get appreciated and how much respect we don't get, that's the reason we do what we do. And my goal as a coach and as a professional is to help teachers get back to that place where they are in touch with their passion, where they their purpose, and they know they can evolve in their position so they can gain their power. Because teaching is a superpower. And I want you to remember that. I've been Kendria.
Okay, and that brings us.
What wings are you leaving? I don't want y'all to leave your wings. What wings? What gives you wings? What gives you wings?
Me wings? You asking me the question, or you asking the audience the question? What gives me wings is my why. Is my why. My why is because there's other people like me in the world. I felt alone for many years. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and I thought I was alone for many years. And what makes me just fly is I see that the generation, when I speak to other people, generational curses are broken, and I see that happen for them. That's my why. It's like, oh, I know their children are going to get this message that I kind of taught right here, and was able to make the woman's mind kind of, oh, I don't have to do that, and see them grow. It's monumental for me. So it was my why that I didn't have to be alone, and they're not alone. So I'm here to help with that.
Yeah. And you have kindred spirits all over the world. Yeah, you have kindred spirits. We get our energy from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's better not be the last time I hear from you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I think that we're going to be doing some great things together. Yeah. And this brings us to the end of this show of Wounded to Wonderful. And I want to thank you all for watching this episode with my esteemed guest, Kendria Johnson. And thank you again. And we're going to say goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.